Okay, what's up, guys? So this is a second version of a video that I'm doing. Basically, it's going to be the 8 reasons why Heather Williams' civil case will come to a complete standstill. I did another version of this video, and basically I tried to summarize everything. This video is actually going to be a reading of the motion that the civil lawyers of R. Kelly filed. So basically, just to let you know up front, I put a lot of time and effort to getting this information out to you. I expect to be compensated for this information. So go ahead and send me some money if you're watching this video. Your bill is due. I'm just joking. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. So this is the actual motion filed by R. Kelly's civil lawyers. And as you see here, it's going to be Heather Williams versus the plaintiff versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. I don't need to read that to you. Basically, motion to stay. And again, if you don't like going through the actual motions and hearing me read this stuff to you, then this is probably going to be a video that you don't like. Go ahead and watch the other video that I made. It's on my channel. It'll be labeled condensed version, 8 reasons Heather Williams civil case will come to a complete standstill, condensed. Maybe this video isn't for you, but if you like reading this type of stuff and you want all the information that your brain could possibly soak up, stay tuned. Stay tuned. So again, here we go. Now comes the defendant Robert Kelly by through his attorney. Let me see if I can get this right. Zaid Abdallah of Abdallah Law PC and Raid Shalabi, and moves this honorable court to stay all proceedings in the above captioned matter in support of the motion. The defendant states as follow. And then it goes on with the introduction. This matter is cause of action filed by the plaintiff, Heather Williams, here and after plaintiff, childhood sexual abuse. The plaintiff said cause of action on, the plaintiff filed said cause of action on February 21st, 2019. The defendant was served while he was in Cook County Department of Corrections. This matter was defaulted as the first case management date of April 23rd, 2019. The defendant is currently charged with criminal sexual abuse against the plaintiff in Cook County Criminal Court under the case number 2019 CR 2759. See Exhibits A true and correct copy of the criminal indictment in this case, number 2019 CR 2759, has been attached. So I actually have that exhibit, and I'll show it at the end of this video or towards the end of this video. Okay, so facts. Facts. The plaintiff filed a complaint against the defendant on February 21st, 2019. See attached Exhibit B. A true and correct copy of the plaintiff's complaint has been attached. So we don't really need to look at that. I mean, I'll show it as well at the end of the video. But I've actually done a video. I think I labeled it 8 reasons why, or 8 reasons R. Kelly can win his civil case against Heather Williams. And basically, I think I go through her complaint in that video. But at any rate, it's on my video. It's on my YouTube channel somewhere. You just have to go and find it. So, okay, on February 22nd, 2019, the Cook County State's Attorney Office indicted the defendant for criminal sexual abuse against the plaintiff. See attached Exhibit A. Both the civil complaint and the criminal indictment allege the same conduct around the same time. See Exhibits A and B. Right? So, argument. Introduction. The right against self-incrimination is one of the most fundamental rights granted by the Constitution of the United States. The defendant is entitled to have this case stayed until the resolution of the related criminal case under case number 2019 CR 2759. Right? So they're basically saying, look, he's going to self-incriminate himself. We need to put this thing on pause until the criminal case is finished. Where a criminal and civil action are pending simultaneously, courts may stay the civil proceedings. Jacksonville Savings Bank versus Kovac, 326 Illinois Appellate Court, 3rd Division, and 1131, 1134, 1st District, 2002. Right? So, interestingly enough, it says that the court may stay. It doesn't mean the court has to, put this thing on pause. And then they even give you more information on the case law. And this is how I actually come up with the 8 reasons. But I guess from here on out, I'm not going to actually label them as 8 reasons. I'm just going to go ahead and read the freaking complaint or response to you guys. So let's get into it. In determining the propriety of stay, the court may consider factors including but not limited to the following: the posture of the criminal proceeding, the interests and the burdens on the defendant, including the extent to which the defendant's Fifth Amendment rights are implicated if a stay is denied, the effect on public interest at stake if a stay were issued, the plaintiff's interest in expeditious resolution of the civil case and any prejudice to the plaintiff and not proceeding, whether the criminal and civil actions involved in the same matter, whether the criminal and civil actions involve the same subject matter, and whether both actions were brought by the government. CHB Uptown Props Ltd. Liab Company versus Finn Place Apartments Ltd. Liab Company. 378 Illinois Appellate Court 3rd Division 105 108-09 317 Illinois December. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. Whatever. So the above mentioned factors do favor a stay in this case. The harm to the defendant if the case is not stayed is substantially outweigh any alleged harm to the plaintiff. The posture of the criminal proceedings. The defendant was indicted in the criminal case that is subject of the civil case. Additionally, the defendant was charged with other cases involving the same and or charges involving other complaints other than the plaintiff. The criminal cases are currently in a discovery posture. Anything the defendant say will be used against him in the criminal case. Furthermore, the civil case and the criminal case involved the same conduct alleged committed by the defendant. The criminal case is further along than the civil case and will certainly be disposed of prior to the civil case. All the defendant's fundamental rights against self-incrimination are in effect. The interests of the burdens on the defendant, including the extent to which the defendant's Fifth Amendment rights are implicated if stay is denied. If a stay is denied, the defendant will be forced to either harm himself substantially in the civil case or in the criminal case. If the defendant asserts his Fifth Amendment right in the civil case, that can be used as a negative inference against him, and simply put, he will tank the civil case. If the defendant forgoes his Fifth Amendment right in the civil case, he may irreparably harm himself in the criminal case, where he has the absolute right to remain silent. Foregoing the right in the civil case may result in a loss of his liberty in the criminal case. Additionally, the defendant has 4 other cases that involve similar conduct. It is inevitable that the plaintiff will issue a discovery about these other incidents. Furthermore, the plaintiff is going to want to depose the defendant about the other indictments alleged in the separate criminal cases. If the defendant asserts his Fifth Amendment right about these other incidents, he will forfeit his civil case. If the defendant forgoes a Fifth Amendment right, he may subject himself to multiple convictions on the criminal cases, which are subjected to lengthy prison sentence. Simply put, if the case is not stayed, the defendant will be forced to decide between the actions that will possibly cause irreparable financial harm or losing his liberty. If it is clear that the defendant has a great amount at stake. D, the effect of public interest at the stake. D, the effect on the public interest at stake if a stay were issued. There's no reason to find the public will be harmed by a stay being granted. This case has no effect on the public or any person not a party to the case. The factor weighs heavily in the favor of the defendant. Now, actually, I'm not even sure that's actually true. I think in the other video I said that there was no public interest. But you know what? People want to see women be treated fairly. They want to see people come to justice for causing harm on women. So I mean, they could be wrong about this. This is their opinion, but they could lose this argument. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just some guy on the internet. So I don't know. You decide. You tell me whether or not there's a public interest. Do you think there's a public interest in R. Kelly's civil case? Should the public have a right to see him tried civilly? I think not. I guess I'm contradicting myself because the public interest is probably going to be in the criminal. But then again, I mean, I really don't know here. So I mean, let me know what you think. The plaintiff's interest in expeditious resolution of the civil case and any prejudice to the plaintiff. The plaintiff is possibly prejudiced by prosecuting the civil case prior to the resolution of the criminal case. If the defendant is found guilty in the criminal case, the plaintiff will not have to expend time and resources on proving liability because this issue would have been litigated in court with a higher burden of proof. Furthermore, the criminal case is further along procedurally than the civil case. The plaintiff will not have to wait years for the criminal matter to be resolved. Furthermore, the plaintiff will not be able to engage in meaningful discovery regarding the defendant, and this will make it more difficult for her to prove her case. The plaintiff is not prejudiced by the state in any manner. Plaintiff counsel also did the client a disservice by filing the complaint listing the plaintiff's name, since the plaintiff is only mentioned as HW in the criminal indictment to protect her privacy. Stand proceedings in this honorable court may be restoring some privacy back to the plaintiff. That's a good argument. F, whether the criminal and civil actions involve the same subject matter. As you all know, it does, right? Both the complaint and the indictment allege the same actions at the same time by the same individuals. See Exhibits A and B. Whether both actions were brought by the government. Both actions were not brought by the government. Both actions do involve the same alleged conduct and have a direct relation to each other. This is just going to be the actual exhibit. So this is actually Exhibit B, which is the complaint against R. Kelly, Heather Williams sexual abuse complaint, which I've already covered in a previous video. And we're just going to skip through this. You've already gotten this information if you haven't watched my other videos. And this is Exhibit A, which is the criminal complaint against R. Kelly. I'm not going to read this in this video, but let me know if you want me to go through this in another video. And basically, this is Exhibit A, and it basically goes through the details of his criminal complaint. So, my 2 cents on all of this is that I think it was just really improper for them. It was really improper for them to file this civil case at the same time that the criminal indictment was filed. I think that they probably, as I stated in the other video, it was a part of their strategy to probably bombard him, and maybe they probably thought they can get an easy win. So that's it. Please leave your questions and comments below in the chat section. Let me know what you think. Did you like this video? Did you not like it? Did you find it entertaining? Did you find it educational? Let me know. Let me know. And also let me know what you think in terms of whether or not this case should be put on pause or it should be stayed until the criminal proceedings have completed.